I'm gonna do the best with what I got. Welcome, welcome to another session with me, another heart to heart, another moment of holding space, guys. It's been a minute. Y'all know my drill. I'm always gonna be back, but life, I could say this time around, let me get comfortable. This time around, if I was to describe, life has been doing it's been a harvesting season. It's it's definitely been a harvesting season. Look at that. It was a feather. Can't really fucking see. So I had to really go see what the hell that was. It was a feather. Okay, so it's been a harvesting season. And in this harvest season, I have been watching my life unfold, heavily in observing mode. And it's funny enough, before my harvest came in, I remember naturally, intuitively feeling called to be in surrender mode, be in observer mode, where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a human and trip out sometimes when life starts to show its ass. But I'm also going to just let things be what they are. Because on this journey, one thing that I have learned over and over again, doesn't matter what I go through, it's just the same lesson, is that everything happens in divine timing. Everything happens the way it's supposed to, how it's supposed to. And there is nothing for me to worry about. Even if it feels like, even if the situation is valid enough for me to worry, still, still, stillness and still, it life is going to do what it needs to do for you. So life is happening for me. That's been one of my affirmations lately. Life is happening for me. And so I've been busy just watching life happen for me. I've been busy seeing all the seeds that I sown so far. Well, I'm not gonna say all because I'm still waiting on some harvest. I'm still, it's not all the way there yet, but it's in a place where I am able to breathe. Like I'm able to just let go. And I owe all of that to not only my trust and faith and surrender in God and the higher source and the creator in the co-creation that I'm creating, but to human design. It has played such a big part of it. Astrology and human design together. I can't leave my astro out. It has been helping me surrender in a way that I don't think, if I didn't have these tools, I don't think it would have accelerated as much. I do believe I still would find my way, but the acceleration is almost magical, and I am so excited to share more with you guys because like now I got an insight that this shit does work. You know, I've been experimenting, I've been doing my thing with this journey, but I've come to see that when you follow your authority, when you go by your strategy, when you read up and learn about yourself and you see the things that are inherent in you, things that you may not be able to control, just your unique imprint, and you just surrender to that, life's gonna show out. Life is gonna show out. So yeah, I would love to. I'm even more so excited to have more of these heart to heart sessions to help give you guys the guidance that I've learned along the way. And yeah, let's get started in it because today we're gonna talk about dating. We're gonna talk about love. We're gonna talk about relationships. Primarily, I'm speaking from a 3-5 point of view. So, but I want all you guys to hear this because I'm gonna do something special for all the profiles very soon. I want everybody to hear what I have to say because you may relate to certain things. You may be experiencing those things right now, and you may have some insights, or I may spark something, some inspiration into your own being that you need. So if you're here and present with me, thank you for being here. You are meant to be here, and thank you for holding space with me. Let's get to it because, whew, child, I'm putting y'all in my business. I am. So my dating experience over the years. First off, I just want to talk about dating in general. beyond the human design experiments, it's a game. But it depends on what. Like, I look at this whole life thing as a game, right? But you have some people who will play to win at any cost, and then you have people who will play to for everybody's gain, everybody's fulfillment, everybody's happiness. And at first, I did not want to play this game. I did not. I always said, like, the whole point of waiting long to text, which I still don't believe in, mind you. I'm currently in a relationship and I still don't believe in that whole, because I feel like at the end of the day, that strategic way of being and moving, it only carries over in the relationship. Like, how you start heavily, heavily influences how your relationship grows. And I've noticed that throughout my years of the trial and error in dating, 3 lines. If you hear me, 3 lines. The trial and error in dating is no joke. And then you finally hit that home base and you're like, you could feel that it's home because you've been through so many experiences where you knew it wasn't, or you experienced what it wasn't. Man, it does feel like victory. But back to I feel like at the end of the day, dating is an experience of trying to figure out who is playing to win with you versus who is playing to win you over. And it's all, we could get even spiritual about it. I feel like whoever we connect with, especially on that type of intimate level, they are there ultimately, yes, to love us, and we're there to love them, but they are there to teach us, to show us ourselves, to help us grow and help us heal. And it doesn't matter how long it lasts, or if it does last, or if it never lasts, or it's just the experience. When you start to look at the experience for what it is, for the fact that the experience made it into your realm, into your reality, that this person decided to jump across to your planet and create with you, you start to look at it from a whole new perspective. So my experience with dating over the years has been the reflection of my 3 line. Pure trial and error. I feel like I fucked up along the way, for real. And I I don't look back with any resentment, because I do feel like each experience added to who I am today. Like, my wisdom, my ability to pick up on shit like with ease and without any effort. I thank God that I was able to experience what I experienced and still walk out unscarred, still walk out beautiful and just myself, like not losing myself through the process. Um, but it was a lot. I cannot deny the fact that I've been through some shit with some people who unfortunately took my kindness for weakness, unfortunately wanted to take advantage of me instead of loving me or choosing to just walk away if they knew that they couldn't. But that was all before the deconditioning process. And I had to own up to my fault and what I done to play a part in the situation. I was really eager. I had this vision for for most of my life. I had this vision of how love is supposed to look. You know, it was something that I craved. I'm a Libra moon. Just gonna put it out there. I'm a Libra moon. And it was something that I craved. And I was very impatient. I wanted it. I wanted that picture. I didn't care who it was with. I just knew the feeling. I saw the vision and I wanted it. And each situation just kept showing me they weren't it. And sometimes, I can't lie, sometimes I would fight. Sometimes I would fight for it to be it. I would fight for it to be it because this has to happen. And then when I won't have a successful turnout, I would be so like depressed and sad, because it's just like, what is it? And I would take it personal, because then I would be like, what is it about me? Am I ever gonna live to see true love in this lifetime? Like, it was just so many I took it really hard until, you know, when you get tired of your own shit. That's what happened. I got tired of allowing myself to experiencing situations longer than I needed to. I was like, all right, I had a few trial and errors. There are certain things I just do not want to learn again. I learned it before. I refuse to learn it again. So I started to be really picky with my energy. I started to say no. And although I do know my preference and my standards and my values and what I seek in a partner, it would limit my choices and it would make my process a bit longer to finding my person. I still wanted to do it that way because I knew what it felt like to settle. I knew what it felt like to try to control what wasn't for me. I knew what it did to me. I knew what it felt like to be with the wrong person. So like that was enough. Like I was able to say to myself, like I will be alone before anything. So I could honestly say that is when I can honestly say that played a part in finding my person right now. And that or I can or finding me. Or him finding me. I'll tell you a little bit about us down the line. There came a point where I had to take a break from dating completely. Like by choice. I was not talking to anybody. Like there was a point in a period in my life where I was just like, all right, enough. If life wants me to be to myself so bad, then life wants me to be alone so bad. And that's something that I had to pick up on it too. Like there'll be times where you are supposed to be in hermit mode. No point about it. And you will notice it, and your friendship connections will start to slow down. Like you'll probably won't be meeting new people. Your old friends will probably be like they're out, like they'll probably like dissipate too. They'll probably like disappear, or you'll cut some people off. It will show up in a form of you not getting any play. Nobody's looking at you or paying attention to you. Like you will know when it's time for you to have sure solitude. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I took advantage of those time periods, because there's a point where I was just really eager. I was like, I want to be with somebody. Like, you know, look, I used to hug myself to sleep, y'all. It was that bad. I had a freaking, what they call it, I was deprived of physical touch. And I'm a physical touch person. Okay, that is one of my major love language. And I went very long without any hugs, kisses, random kisses, and it was hard. It was hard. It was difficult. But my goal was to end up with my person. And again, I was willing. Yeah, I took that break, and in between the break, it would be like little short conversations with potentials, like someone I could tell they like me and I like them. But honestly, I'm an Aries. Like you gotta pick it up. Like you can't be sending me DMs for a whole year and thinking we're gonna go from point A to point B. You gotta come through with some movement, you know. And I don't feel like I need to do that. You know, I could be a princess. I could sit in my feminine and allow you as the man, the masculine, to guide, to lead, you know, ask me questions to see what I like, take me somewhere, show me something different. So it was a little bit of that throughout the years. And I was just like, my last real relationship, like actual relationship, ended in 2016. And ever since then, I have not been in a relationship. I have not, I have been in almost, I have been in some long situationships. I have been in on and off and weird 1 to 2 day connections that lasted probably like a week or so. Never had an actual partner until now in 2024. So let's do the math on how many years that has been. 8 long years. And whew, this is why I have brought myself to really do this video, because I'm like, I know a lot. I have to know a lot. I know a lot. And it's so funny. Before I met my person, now I wanted to do this video. So the way it all synced in when we got together and I was like, yeah, I could definitely do this video. Nothing but divine alignment, okay? I just remember taking breaks because heartbreak for me, especially, I don't know how it is for other people, but for me especially, is no joke. Like, heartbreak is close to feeling like death for me. It hurts that bad. I take it really hard. The pain, the emotional pain becomes physical, and like literally feel it physically. And that's not good for me. So that was something that was a major reason why I took a break and why I decided to just stay to myself. I was bitter for a bit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna hold you. I was bitter. I had a lot of resentment. I was really hurt. I was still holding on to the past. And I think that had a lot to do with why it took me so long to get here. It took me so long to get to a position where I knew my worth enough to choose better. it, it really bottles down to me taking a moment, sitting back, being honest about everything that I experienced, holding myself accountable, holding them motherfuckers accountable too, and accepting, surrendering, forgiving. I had to forgive for me to get here, for me to be like, oh, the past is the past. What has no effect on me to this day. Honestly, I don't even like dating multiple people at one time. I don't care how people see it. They could probably see it as throwing all my eggs in one basket, but no, I don't care for that. I don't care for getting to know 3 people at one time because I'm scared of being left out in the cold if one person don't work. I tried it because, I'm into trying different things, and I understood why I never felt called to it in the first place. It's just like, how am I supposed to get to know anybody if I'm splitting my time up? And plus, the time I have for myself, I could hardly split up. No, no. So yeah, that even made the process even longer, y'all. And to like this part, right? Okay, let me get comfortable. Y'all, the whole waiting for invitation strategy for us as projectors, when you utilize it with dating, shit turns up a notch. I have to say, like, it gets a bit spicy because now that I think of it, there are most of the relationships that failed in the past for me had to do with the fact that I was initiating. I'm a fire sign, and we are prone to take initiation. I am an Aries. I am the initiator. So that has been such a hard task for me because when I see something and I know that I want it, I want it. And I never used to have any, like, until I started getting kind of like, I started overthinking. I didn't have any problem initiating and like sliding into DMs and stuff. But most of them, most of the challenging relationships I ever had and ones that were toxic and end up being draining were the ones that I invited myself into. If you could relate to that, please let me know in the comments below. Like, I'm not kidding. Now, there were certain relationships or certain connections that I didn't feel the need to initiate in. They would come to me and I would end up not wanting it. So I had my fair share of that. People recognizing me and all that they were giving me all this attention and good vibes and stuff. I just wasn't feeling it. And now that I think about it too, I knew that I was being perceived wrong. I was either being idolized for someone, a character that I really wasn't, or like just being over idolized, or people perceived me with their shadow perspective of themselves, and so on. So it was a good reflection looking back at that and seeing like, let me try to do something different. Now, granted, there were some connections that I also allowed the other person, the other party to do the initiating, and it still turned out weird. I don't know why people initiate to make moves with people that they don't want to take serious. Don't ask me. I don't know what's wrong with people these days. But yes. And I could toss it up to just simple lack of alignment. You know, we're being in two different spaces. We want or different values, incompatibility. Like it could be several things. Um, I find that the most successful connections, even if it doesn't last and it turns into like friendships and stuff, has to do with mutual invitation. And when I say mutual invitations, it's just that that person comes to you and shows you an energy that they want to know more about you. They're interested in learning more about you, and you receive that, and you give them the same energy right back. That to me turns out to be the best connections, and so on. If your relationship, your connection continues to do that, equal exchange, reciprocal energy, y'all are bound to win. Even when there's challenges that come up, that they're prone to come up, because we are complex humans. We don't understand ourselves half the time, let alone we're trying to understand each other. But as long as the two parties are, they equally want this, they want to show up for one another, and they have similar values, and they're very compatible, there's no way. There's no way it can't turn out to be successful. Okay, so dating specifically as a 3-5. We spoke a bit about the trial and error. It was a lot of that. And something I learned about the threes, my feet are getting cramped up. Something I learned about the threes is that we are never going to get it right the first try. And knowing that, I have been looking forward to fucking up as I go. Knowing that the first try is just going to be me successfully failing. I actually look forward to those moments so I can get the most creative. And that kind of limits me from procrastinating, because usually when I'm procrastinating is because I am overthinking, over worrying about the outcome before it even happens, and I'm seeking perfectionism. So my experience as a line 3 dating as a projector, I highly, it's like after all those crazy ass outcomes, I turned it around and it became something like a nugget to put in my pocket. It supports me these days. I have so much wisdom when it comes to people, when it comes to connections, when it comes to dealing with people who I know are not for me, because I've been through it, you know? As a 5, I have experienced a lot of projections, especially in intimate connections. Like I said earlier, people either idolizing me or expecting way much from me than I told them I would do. They would just assume because I know certain things and I was able to do this. And people who I could tell you myself, I stood and observed people misperceiving me. Like, treated me like I'm not some hot shit. Like, I know myself. I know shit. I know I'm very strategic. I know I'm very smart. The way they perceived me was, oh, she won't peep that. Underestimation was real, okay? I would get it in both spectrums. I would get it as treating me like I'm a superhuman and treating me like I am the scum. Like I am clueless. And it has been a journey. Dating as a 3-5 projector has been even more for me personally. I would have moments as a 3, the line 3s are said to make and break bonds. And boy, did I make and break bonds. Like I would go from being infatuated with somebody to like suddenly like not liking them. I'll be turned off, and I know once I'm turned off, I can't come back on. It'll either be something they did, it'll either be something that they said, it'll be something that I just started realizing about the person, and I'm just like not interested anymore. And sometimes I feel so bad because my energy, once I'm in it, I'm all in it. Like you're gonna get everything from me. Like you're gonna get all the vibes. And then for me to go from that to like disgusted or like not giving the same energy, I just know they thought that I was a dickhead for real, or I was flip floppy. I'm really not. I'm really not. Like, there'll be nothing that I could like do about it, like, because it'll be mad sudden and unexpected. Like, I can't tell you if that's gonna happen. I just know in certain connections when I'm all in it and there's no chance of me flip, or there's no chance of me changing my mind, because I'll be way deep into it. Like, I'll be too deep into it to change my mind. Like, no. Oh, as a line 5 too, I must point out the jealousy was crazy. Like, I experienced connections with men who wanted to humble me so bad, that wanted to prove me wrong so bad, that will project onto me and be like, oh, you think you're God, you think you know everything, when I was just telling them some shit anybody, a baby could fucking point out. Like, it was absurd. I was like, nah, when I read up on the line 5, I was like, nah, this shit is real, because it's evident. Like, people will either like us or they will hate our guts, and all we have to do is be. That's it. All we have to do is just be. When all right, there was a phase that I was in when I was just like, okay, I'm ready to like date. I'm ready to put myself out there. I think it was shortly after I was just like, okay, I was taking my break. I was like in my like hot girl era a little bit. It was like really hot girl, but still choosy. I was still being picky. And because I feel like I work so hard to bring myself up, like nobody's gonna come into my life and take me down, or you know. So like, but I knew that there was no way I was gonna connect, especially outside, when I am avoiding eye contact, and I be avoiding eye contact like hell. Even if I see somebody that I'm interested, I was avoiding, and I think it's because I was just nervous. I didn't feel comfortable putting myself out there. I didn't want to be seen in that. I don't know. It was just a lot. I was just avoiding as hell. So I put myself on the challenge to make eye contact. And I have noticed a difference. I felt like when I signal with my eyes I'm interested, of course, the men will know to play their part and get up and come talk. Versus when I'll see somebody I like and I do like this, who the hell is gonna come talk to me after that? Like, I'm obviously telling you, either I'm weird or I'm just not interested. You can't like. There's no way nobody in their right mind is gonna come up to me and approach me when I'm doing that. And I don't care for dating apps. I used to do them, but some psychos are on those apps, and I started to look at it as people going on those apps just to quickly get over something that's troubling them in the time being. And I am nobody's band-aid. So I stopped doing a dating app. So I knew that I had to put myself out there, if not on social media, because social media is fine. Like, I'll go do sliding into my DM shit. Like, that's okay. Dating apps, no. So I knew I had to put more pep in my step when I'm going outside, if I want to meet people. So as a splenic, as someone that is very intuitive, especially through feeling, I knew physically when I was with the wrong person. My body always told me. But again, I totally had the wrong outlook on love and what love was and what relationship was. And it showed in how much I was willing to take and how much of a high tolerance I had for pain in that regard. And I ignored those feelings, and I had to pay. I had to pay for that, because when you're with somebody you're not supposed to be with and you're not making the moves you need to make to get far away from them, God, source, creator, the universe is going to do something about it. Some shit is going to shake, and it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be in a situation, it's going to be an experience that you really don't want. So I do remember ignoring those nudges I had, or like my stomach will hurt when I'm around them, or my pH balance will be off completely. Let's say like I start getting nervous around them, like I can't be myself, especially when I can't be myself, because usually if I feel the need to like not be my outward self with you, I am naturally shielding myself. I'm not doing it. My aura naturally wants to lock up and be stored away safely so you don't interact with it and fuck it up. And that has been a sign that I'm around the wrong people. I have ignored it sometimes, and I just want to say I had to pay for it. So if you are in a space where, especially if you're a splenic, if you don't use your gifts to make sure you are in alignment, do not learn the hard way. So I had dated MGs before. I have dated generators. They all gave me the same vibes. I even dated a reflector. The reflector was different. I would say I understand why there aren't too much information on reflectors. It was just weird. It was so weird. I feel like because we both have open space, and I could tell because I knew what I knew about them, a little bit what I knew about them. I could tell when they're living in the shadow selves and they're allowing their environment to shift themselves. They shift their personalities, like to the point where they're never solid in who they are. I could just tell, and it was such a turn off for me because I am so solid in who I am, so solid. And although I have centers in me that are prone to get conditioned, I've been working on those conditionings. So it has been a sight to see my fellow reflector, it was just a weird energy. MGs and generators, I felt like there was a lot it was a lot of energy going on. And the whole point of us not being able to sleep together for too long, like stay in the same room and go to sleep with each other for too long, like I want to be up and under my man's skin, okay? So I am currently with the projector. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I won. I feel like I won because we really get each other. Like we burn out when we burn out, and we back again when we back again. And I understand him, he understands me. And even when we're sleeping together, I don't ever feel tired or feel drained. I feel so refreshed. Like I'm easily sleeping around him. Like I don't ever feel the need to like stay up too late. It's just it just flows. So thank God for that, because I would hate to like not be able to like share my same sleeping space with my person. Like I do know some people prefer to have two separate rooms. I believe in a man cave, and I believe in having my own woman's palace. I'm all for that. But as far as sleeping together, I want to sleep with my man. I want to sleep in his arms. I want to be in his skin when I'm sleeping. Period. So that experience has been really, really great. I feel like we just get each other, and I'm so thankful for this new connection. It's really a part of my harvest season. Everything fell into line, including my love life, and I'm just so thankful. All I'm thinking about now is just managing the things that I'm harvesting at this time, maintaining it, being responsible with it, organizing my time more, having structure, just being in reception mode even more, being in receiving mode even more, allowing it to pour over me, getting used to receiving, getting used to things being okay, getting used to not having my shoulders up and being tensed, getting used to being in flow, and getting used to the things that I've always imagined actually happening for me, and understanding that everything you want happens for you as long as you continue to free and make up space and make the space for it, allow it to come in. Ooh, I got a good one. Be clear. Be so clear. Until I got clear, I kid you not, I kept refining. Every time I went through something that just wasn't it, I kept refining. I kept writing in my journals. I kept restructuring. I kind of wrote my things about my partner like more than in like so many times in my journals. It didn't matter how many times I wrote it. I just knew that I want my connection to feel like this. I want it to look like this. I want to be with this person that have these values that reflects mine, and what I want from myself personally. I never let up. And I can say things started pouring in for me when I decided to get even clearer. I asked myself this important question, and I said, if I could have everything I want, no challenges, no restrictions, no limits, how would that look like? Because for so long, I was writing down things in a perception of me not being able to receive more. Like, kind of putting myself in a bracket of what I think my limit is, when that is not the truth. It is unlimited. So I'm allowing myself to dream more. I'm allowing myself to be more. I'm allowing myself to receive more, and also maintaining gratitude for what I have and basking in that, because I deserve it. I deserve it. And it took so much for me to come here today and say that shit without any hesitation, because there was a time period where I got so used to hurt, pain, and disappointment that I could not see good things happening for me. I wasn't used to good things happening for me. It was like I had to take time for things that to get used to these things. And I don't want to ever go through that again. I don't want to ever experience that again. And if I could share my story and help others avoid experiencing those feelings, or gain some kind of faith and trust and inspiration for their lives, I am so happy. And that is all I'm going to say. I also want to point out, if you are in a healthy relationship, to feel free to check out your compatibility charts, human design charts. That does a lot. I feel like even if you guys have challenging aspects, don't pay it no mind, especially if the relationship itself is flowing. Me and my partner, we have like a challenging aspect, but it still works. We pointed it out. It just works. So be open to what you come across. It does help to have some awareness on what you guys bring together on the table for this beautiful companionship. I enjoyed reading up about us. I enjoy reading up on my partner's design because it makes me understand him more, and I love sharing these things with him. So feel free to take a look into your partner's chart, take a look into your compatibility chart, take a more look into your chart, so you can understand yourself more, so that could reflect your relationship in return. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. I hope I wasn't babbling for too long. I have so much things that I want to come out with. I definitely want to put out this astrology video, so look out for that. I'm about to just put it out because I've been holding on to this thing for too long, right? And I'm excited to share more things about each profile, more things about my experience as a projector. If you would like to hear anything, if you want to talk about any topic, feel free to share in the comment section below. What topic do you want me to touch on? I do not mind. Follow me on Instagram, Shandy Love. Reach out to me. Join my broadcast channel. Subscribe, like, share this video. Let's get up to 1K subscribers. I love you guys. See you in the next video.